Welcome back to Ironsworn, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This is episode 24. Last episode, Karl and Half and Brigid and the Goliath Eglath traveled from the Cackling Chasm to Sky Tower Shelter. There, Eglath introduced them to his clan, the Akhenathi clan, and Karl decided to try to ingratiate themselves to the clan. They found some healing for one of the clan elders, Kianaka. Then the Goliaths asked them to try to resolve the feud with the clan that lives in Wormdoom Crag, the Thun Lakalaga clan. Karl and Half and Brigid are going to head off into the mountains across the spine of the world towards Wormdoom Crag to talk with this other Goliath clan. It's not terribly far, but it is across the spine of the world mountains, so we are going to make this a troublesome journey. And in fact, in trying to secure a bond, this is what the Akhenathi clan asked them to do. We don't have a bond with Sky Tower Shelter yet, so we are just going to roll our wits. That gives us a weak hit, which means that we reach a waypoint, but we do suffer some supply, and let's see what kind of encounter we find. As Karl and Half and Brigid cruise through the mountains here, they hear a cackling laugh, which all of them recognize as being similar to what they encountered in the Cackling Chasm. Karl is going to swiftly try to craft an arrow that he thinks will be particularly harmful towards gnolls. On a weak hit, we are going to take the Ravager, which gives us an additional 1d6 harm. They round the bend and hear these cackling gnolls. The gnolls look up and see them and pounce to attack. We're going to run this as a battle. I get a bonus from Half. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a bonus as well from using the Fletcher ability. Nonetheless, that gets us a miss. They are driven back by these gnolls. Fortunately, the gnolls don't manage to fully eat them, but we are going to pay the price, and that's going to significantly impede our progress to Wormdoom Crag. It gives us a delay, so I think that this hike to Wormdoom Crag that had been troublesome is going to upgrade to dangerous now, as we need to avoid those gnolls having been defeated by them and kind of scampering down a mountain and then circumventing around another mountain. They're going to try to undertake a journey again. Another weak hit allows us to mark progress, and we are going to go ahead and try to camp here. A miss with a double zeros is super bad trying to make camp. As the three of them settle into their tents to make camp, there is a blizzard that blows in, and sometime during the night, a creature starts prowling around their tent. Karl hears a snuffling sound and hears this tremendous roar as a claw shreds the tent, and this owl bear face sticks itself into their tent looking for some human snacks. We're going to run this as a battle. Half is not going to be able to help. He is still asleep. Karl is desperately going to try to get his axe and fend this owlbear off. On a miss, so this owlbear tears into their tent. Karl's desperately trying to fight it off. Brigid and Half wake up, and they fully flee from their camp. This is going to set them back in supply, and they are now out in the mountains in the middle of a blizzard, without their tent, without their supplies. This is going to be a face danger with heart. On a weak hit, Karl loses a bit of spirit. He's just downtrodden. They're just trying to get to Wormdoom Crag and keep having all these problems. He manages to kind of buck up, and Brigid is supportive, and they are going to try to undertake a journey again. Yet another miss. Let's see what pay the price is. A friend, companion, or ally is put in harm's way as the three of them are traversing the mountains. One of them slips a little bit, and we're going to see who this is. Is this Half? No, it's not Half, it's Brigid. Brigid slips and is about to plummet down a sharp mountain cliff. Karl is going to desperately reach out and grab her with edge. Manages to get a weak hit, but it is stressful, so he takes a hit to stress. Fortunately gets a strong hit there, so he's going to take a little bit of momentum, and he manages to grab Brigid, pulls her back onto the trail, They're not doing well. They've got to try to secure an advantage here. They're just not making their way through the mountains. Karl's going to take a moment to scout and explore using his Wayfinder ability. All right, a weak hit, and with his Wayfinder, he gets another little momentum. So he manages to find a hopefully safer path so they can try to undertake a journey again. What the hell is going on with my dice? That is another miss with a match, and I can't possibly burn momentum. God, this is so bad. Let's ask the Oracle what happens. It puts us at another delay. Oh, this is brutal. I'm going to upgrade this to a formidable task. It was supposed to be a simple hike across the mountains, but you know what? In the Rime of the Frostmaiden, you never know. The mountains are perilous, filled with monsters and other dangers, so they are constantly waylaid, having to go around things. They're going to try to resupply so that they can make camp. Karl and Half and Brigid are desperately looking for resources. All right. I know that the dice are impartial, but this is nonsense. That is another miss with another 0-0 match on resupply. Just resupply. I think I'm going to choose one of the deadly encounters in the Wilderness Encounters table. As they are trying to make their way through the mountains and continually waylaid, they hear a thunderous thump, 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 and they look up and see a giant riding a mammoth coming down the mountain path that they were going along. This is bad. They are going to try desperately to hide, which frankly, they're not very good at. A face danger with shadow that gives them a miss. I could burn momentum, and I think I am going to do that because I really don't want to have a fight with a frost giant right now. So we're going to burn momentum, at least get a weak hit, and they huddle down under a snowdrift, wait for this massive creature to pass by. And as they dig themselves out of the snowdrift, they lose some of their gear. So their supply goes down even further. They were just trying to resupply, and now it's not going well. All right, we have got to try to secure an advantage again. This is going terribly, and Karl takes some time to scope out their path. Finally, a strong hit. We're going to get some momentum. Then we're going to try to undertake a journey. A weak hit is better than nothing, but now our supply is down to 0, which is bad. Going down to a 0 supply is really not good. We have to mark unprepared now, which means that we cannot increase our supply until we sojourn, which we can't really do until we find somewhere with people who are hopefully friendly to us. So that's bad. We can't make camp. We're doing bad. We're doing bad. We've got to try to secure an advantage again here, scouting the lay of the land before heading off on our next journey. All right, a weak hit, which we get a little bit of momentum, which is good, but doesn't give us a bonus on undertake a journey. So let's see what happens. Finally, a strong hit. That is excellent. We're going to mark progress on that, and we get a bonus to our momentum from Wayfinder. We're getting closer to Wormdoom Crag. I don't want to make camp at this point. Our supply is terrible, so we've just got to press on. We've got to undertake a journey again. Another miss on undertake a journey. I can't burn momentum on this one. Oh, it's terrible. Let's see what the encounter is. They look up and spot this massive white dragon again. This white dragon is all over these mountains. We're going to face danger with shadow here and see if we can avoid the attention of this dragon. It doesn't usually eat people, but maybe it will eat them. Whew. Fortunately, a strong hit is excellent. We take some momentum and we hide. We could not fight a dragon in any circumstance, much less how we are now. Out of spirit, out of supply, and a bit injured. So we're going to undertake another journey. We managed to mark progress on that, but take a hit to supply. We don't have any supply. So Karl takes some damage in the process as they're scrabbling across the mountains. I'm going to try to reach our destination because if I keep rolling, I am toast. A weak hit. We're going to ask the Oracle what is going on here. The Oracle says raid survival, which I think fits. I think that most of the important people of Wormdoom Crag are out on a raid. So the folks that Karl needs to talk to try to resolve things are just not here. Nonetheless, they're going to approach Wormdoom Crag. We reached Wormdoom Crag. I'm going to mark progress on helping Eglath because that's at least part of what we need to do is getting to talk to these folks. Fresh tracks in the snow make it relatively easy to find the Goliath settlement of Wormdoom Crag on the northern slope of a soaring mountain. Following these tracks leads you to a cave outside which the bones of a dragon lie half buried in the snow. Past these remains, torchlight flickers in a pair of tunnels that burrow into the mountain, leading west and south. East of the dragon's bones, rough-hewn steps climb to a 20-foot-high open-air arena with stone bleachers carved into the eastern wall. Rising from the arena floor are more than a dozen pillars of rock, each 5 to 8 feet high and about a foot in diameter. There is no welcoming committee here, but they see some flickering torchlight. They're going to check out what this arena is, first of all. 15 crude stone pillars stand on this raised arena. The bleachers carved into the back wall are sheathed in ice, and at the top of the seating section are burnt torch stubs in sconces and a narrow tunnel. Well, we're going to go towards the flickering torchlight to the west. The sound of metal hissing as it cools echoes through this warm 10-foot-high chamber as a female Goliath submerges a glowing javelin head into a barrel of water. The anvil in the center of the cave is illuminated by the light of a burning forge against the west wall. Against the wall nearby are several tools and weapons. The three of them enter, and Karl says, hello, miss? The Goliath looks up and scowls at them. I ain't no miss. What you doing here? Karl says, I'm sorry. My name is Karl. This is Half and Brigid. We were hoping to talk to the chief. We are hoping to try to resolve the problem with you and the other Goliath clan. The woman kind of frowns a little bit and then shrugs, is like, well, the chief ain't here. So I guess you got to settle in and make yourselves comfortable. Well, that's good. Fortunately, they're friendly and welcoming. I do want to do a compel here to try to get her on our side because I really need a sojourn. As we're talking with this Goliath, Wayani High Hunter, Thunla Kalaga, she tells us, aye, well, since you're going to be here a while, there's an Aarakocra who's been hurt a bit. We're trying to heal him up, but we're having some hard time binding his wounds right. I was like, okay, well, I'm not much of a healer, but I'll see what I can do. So they're going to progress through the caves and try to find this Aarakocra. The next cave down from the smith is a cave with a crawl. The floor of this 15-foot-high cavern bulges in the middle with a 5-foot diameter hole on either side of the upraised part, marking the ends of a tunnel. The exterior of the bulge has runes inscribed on every surface of it. At the back of the cave, an elderly male Goliath sits with 3 adolescent Goliaths around a campfire. The elderly Goliath is dyeing scraps of cloth and leather in a bucket of greenish liquid and settling them to dry on a wooden rack, while the adolescents stitch other scraps into garments for dolls they are fashioning. Scores of old dolls rest in niches along the cave walls, staring outwards. That is properly creepy. As they walk in, Karl is looking around. He's like, hello, sir. I'm sorry, we were told that there was an Aarakocra that had been injured, that we would be able to help. The elderly Goliath looks up and squints at them and says, aye, he's just through there and then on to the next cave. Welcome, visitors. We do not get many. I am sorry the chieftain is out. Ogalai is leading a raid for the survival of the clan, but he will return in time. Karl says, oh, well, thank you. Thank you for being so welcoming. And he progresses to the main hall. This cavern has a domed roof 30 feet high and an open well in the middle of the floor. 2 youthful Goliaths use ropes and a bucket to draw water from the well. Rough-hewn stairs ascend to the southern part of the cave where the floor is 10 feet higher. as written, normally there's a bunch of Goliaths here, as well as the chieftain Ogilai, but they're off on a raid because we missed on we got a weak hit on finishing our journey. So Karl and Half wave at the children, and they were told the injured Aarakocra is further on, so they moved to the caves to the east. In these private caves, they kind of poking their heads in and saying hi, and they come upon this wounded Aarakocra. Karl nods at the Aarakocra, says, "Oh, hello, sir. I was told that you had an injury, and my friends and I were not great healers, but we might be able to help you." The Aarakocra looks at them and says, "Aight, try your best." And Karl nods. He's going to look this over. First of all, we're going to try to secure an advantage, figure out what's going on here with some wits. On a weak hit, we get a little bit of momentum, which is good. Our momentum is as high as it's going to go. Let's try a heal, and let's not roll some 10s. Whew, fortunately, a strong hit. So we managed to bind this Aarakocra's wounds. This is Siki Cree, and the Goliaths had been taking care of them with some success, but not full success. Karl manages to set the bone. Siki Cree briefly blacks out, but then when it comes to one of the Goliaths had come in to watch this process and is amazed. They are very impressed with Karl. So he's going to try to mark a bond with these folks, and then maybe we can sojourn with them, which would be great. All right, on a weak hit, we don't get to mark the bond yet, but what the message that he gets is that they want to also resolve the feud between the Goliath clans. And so Karl's like, okay, great. Like if I'm able to do that, everyone's going to be happy. If not, it might be a little bit of a problem, but can we rest up here until the chief comes back? And they are generally positive towards that. So we're going to try to sojourn. We do not have a bond, unfortunately. You are effing kidding me. That is my third double zeros just this game. That's obviously a miss. We're not going to be able to sojourn here, and we pay the price. Oh yeah, roll again and make it worse. Sure. We got doubles already, so it was going to be worse, and now it's even worse. It's stressful. Karl's already out of spirit, so he takes the shaken condition. He cannot handle this. These people are basically friendly, but they're not extremely welcoming, and their chieftain isn't here, so they get out. They basically put Karl and Half and Brigid out on the arena and let them sit out there until the chieftain comes in. Karl's shaken by this and can't handle it. Just really struggling. Couldn't have even burned momentum to get over that. Well, now what do? I guess we just wait. I think this is going to be a face danger because we got a weak hit when we arrived, so we've got a stuffer for that on some level. Yeah, this is going to be hard. Karl is disheartened at this point, pissed off. Of course it's a miss. You know what, though? We're going to burn momentum here and get a strong hit and at least have some success. Karl has been beaten down. Their journey to Wormdoom Crag was terrible, even though it should have been simple. They finally arrived and were trying to sojourn, but couldn't be friends with the folks. So he's upset, but Brigid, I think, kind of sits down with him and she's like, Karl, sometimes people don't know that they're being mean, and they don't mean to be. They don't necessarily owe us anything. I mean, we helped that Aarakocra, which is good, but they want us to help heal the bond with the other Goliath clan. Let's just wait until the chieftain comes back, and then we'll talk to her and we can hopefully resolve this. I was like, all right. That helps. A little pep talk from Brigid. They settle in and wait until Ogilai comes back, which happens the next day. They're going to wait and settle in until Ogilai, the chieftain, comes back, and we will see how we're able to get on with Ogilai next time. Thanks for watching.